and welcome back to Our Garden Beyond Gardens Live with myself, John Colwell, John McWilliams and Steve McCabe, and we're here once again to take your calls. The number, just in case you haven't jotted it down, is worth repeating, except I can never remember.
Okay, it's 6468 5994.
And there it is,
yes.
on the bottom of the screen, hopefully in a moment. There it is,
yes.
yes.
There it is.
So can't go wrong. Now, we have somebody who's already found those digits on their phone, so welcome to the garden. Hello.
Yes, good evening. My name's Kevin from Oakford.
Yes, Kevin.
I have a large Nashi pear tree which has been in the ground about 5-6 years. It bears beautiful fruit, but this year it's bared about 400 Nashi pears, and they've all grown full size and
Wow.
dropped off the tree, and they got brown in the centre, unedible.
Ooh.
Wow.
It's very disappointing.
It is, yes.
400
I've
Nashi.
googled it, and some of the information seems to be leading towards a lime or calcium deficiency, and there's talk of it being brown rot.
Yeah, brown rot is quite possible from the centre of the tree out, from the centre of the fruit out. Is that where it starts?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that is quite possible, but it could also be nutritional balance. That does happen too. And it will also, was it a particularly good heavy set?
400.
It was a very good set.
Yeah, that may be a contributing factor. I think that next time it sets that many, you need to go and knock a few off. Don't let it carry quite so many. But the Nashi pear is very tough indeed. The one I'm showing you a picture of here is actually a pollen donor, but it's an edible Nashi pear, lots of different forms of it. Normally not a worry, and if you haven't changed anything else, then I'd say bear with it and don't let it fruit so heavily again.
Yes, our soil is very acidic down this way.
Shouldn't
Would
worry
that have any effect?
Yeah, well, it shouldn't worry it too much, I wouldn't have thought. When you say very acidic, do you know the pH?
5.86.
Oh, that's not too bad.
Not too bad
That's
for a
bearable.
Nashi, yeah.
Pears are one of those wonderful trees, and I'll group them all together, and Nashi is a pear, which will take just about anything, which is why many of the ornamental pears do so well. They'll take acid soil, alkaline soil,
you're right.
smog, gravel, clay,
gravel, yeah, roads.
Oh,
yeah,
they don't seem to
absolutely,
be worried
yeah.
by anything. I think it's primarily the heavy fruit set that is your problem in this case.
The tree's got a certain amount of resources, and it's trying to give all of these little children a little bit.
Yep.
So, and it's a really hard thing to do, to take some of them away, but you're going to end up with something at the end of the day. So it's
Kevin,
worth
we'll,
doing.
I'll just
It's
double
great
check
every
that.
year.
I'll double check that because tomorrow, Steve and I and Peter Coppin, the fruit man, are heading to Muckenbooten, and I'm sure if I haven't got it right, I'll be told.
Exactly. Stuck in
I'll
a car.
ask anyway. I'll ask
Half
anyway.
hours, you'll work it out.
We'll let you know next week.
Yep.
Thank you very much. One more quick question if there's time.
Yes.
Indeed.
Can you can you put too much mulch around a citrus tree?
Yeah.
You can put it on too thick, certainly.
That's too
What are we
much
putting
mulch.
on?
Mulch around a citrus tree. Yep.
Good mulch. We
Yeah.
always need to,
Oh,
because there are mulches and mulches.
A qualifier.
We qualify. A good mulch is one that doesn't hold water and has large irregular particles. But a soggy mulch, right up against the trunk, you can be asking for trouble.
Yep.
I've seen collar rot on many citrus.
So a little bit of
that's
that sort of
what
mulch
induces
is far
that.
too much.
Yeah.
So large, coarse, irregular particles, 5 to 7 centimetres thick, ideal. And you can overdo that. You can go, if you were
Yeah, if
to
you
put
go
on
thicker.
15, 20 centimetres of beautiful water-wise mulch,
Yeah.
like
Yeah,
just
yes.
chunky garden prunings, that's going to be too much.
Just to make the point, this is what happens with collar rot. That's a citrus that's
I think we've lost
suffering from collar rot. Yeah. And you can see the bark all peeling away. And there's almost, well, there's no simple solution to it. There is a solution, very technical. It's called a bridge graft, where you have to take wood over from the good part of the root up to the top. Not for the average.
No, absolutely not.
Okay, back to the phones.
Yes, we have another caller online, and if you do have a question, please call us, 6468 5994. This is our second last show tonight, so please get those gardening questions in.
Quick. And I'm glad you have. Hello, welcome to the program.
Hi. I was given a bag of everlasting seeds by a friend, and I'd like to plant them into my council verge, but I've got a really thick, chunky mulch on it. I was watching your show a couple of weeks ago, and you said to plant the seeds of any plant sort of the same depth down as the seed is the size. Do I need to dig that mulch back and plant it into bare soil, or can I scatter it on the top with something over the top of it? I don't want to leave the verge unprotected by the mulch.
Well, I would suggest you just chuck the seeds over the top.
Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Because they will.
That's a nice, crazy question.
They will fall down, and I'm looking, and I'm sure we have a picture somewhere of a verge sown with everlastings. I'm just struggling to find it. And is that it? Is that it, John? I'm getting some assistance here. No,
there it is. There it is.
Okay, all right.
Sorry.
Here we go.
Live TV.
That's it.
Yeah.
So you can see there are everlastings planted right through the mulch. Now, if you want to, you can just pull the mulch aside in a little pocket and just put a few seeds and just wet them, because assume we're talking about the pink and white everlastings, the most common. Lots of others, by the way. I'd love to do a program once on all the other ephemerals we've got. But once you wet them, you know they're fluffy and on the outside. Yeah. When you wet them, those hairs actually twist and they lock onto the ground. So you just wet them, and they lock onto the ground, and then you're fine. But
so wet them, like put them into a bucket and wet them, and then
no, after you chuck them on the ground, just get them in watering can. But be careful, because snails love them, absolutely love them. Yeah, they'll go across hot coals to get to everlastings. Yeah.
Same family as lettuce, they'll munch them.
Oh, they're terrible. Yeah.
Okay, protect them, and it's not too late to plant them now.
It's on the verge, but I'd certainly give it a go.
I'd completely disagree. If you plant them too early, they'll get long and leggy. But if you plant them now, they'll be good for spring. That's my experience.
There you go.
That's beautiful.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Right. Good luck with that. It's a pity more people don't sow our own everlastings. They're so good.
Yes.
The most common are the pink and white, but as I say, there are many others. And my personal favourite is one called Mangles everlasting.
Oh, that's
lovely
thing. Silverback pink everlasting.
Yeah.
Look, I've planted some just your standard pink and white everlastings in August and still got a show from them. So
in the eastern states, they plant them completely the other way around.
Backwards. So yeah, absolutely. Okay, we have another caller on the line. So thank you for calling. Are you there?
Hello.
Hello. Who do we have?
My name is Giovanni.
Yes, Giovanni.
I needed to find out. I got a white flies infestation.
Oh. Yes. Sympathise deeply, but the question is, they are really bad at the moment. We don't know whether. I'll just show you cabbage whitefly for those people who aren't familiar with it. So that's what cabbage whitefly looks like.
So that looks familiar, Giovanni?
Let me just flick across to another one and show you close up. No, there's a couple I can show you, because it's rather fascinating.
Very, very small.
Yeah, very small. Look, and this is what one looks at like if you get very, very close to it.
Something like that,
Yeah. White, powdery. They're fascinating things. If you look at the way that they are feeding and breeding, which they do both at the same time, very successfully indeed, they have their mouth parts stuck into the cabbage, let's say, and they lay an egg at the other end, and then they just move their legs so that the mouth part's still in the same place, and they transcribe a circle, laying eggs as they go. And you can see a circle of eggs with a central point all the time. Amazing thing.
Very efficient.
The question is, what do we do about them? Apart from, I mean, they come up in clouds, don't they? They're real terrible things. Using strong chemicals in the vegetable patch is not a good idea. White oil will give you some degree of control. I often think a vacuum cleaner might be almost as good as everything else.
Give them a good.
Any
might be one use for a garden blower. Maybe just blow them away in a cloud.
Look, I try everything. I went also to this special place, and they give me some, some insecticide to use it, and I use it. I try even fly spray. I try to blow. I try water. They keep coming back.
It may also raise another question. There are a couple of nasties. Well, they're never good, but there's a few that the Ag Department would like to probably get their hands on. And you can basically send a sample into the Pest and Disease Information Service, because we are getting some interesting whitefly coming through now, and there's a few that are going undetected, and you may have one of those, and they may be able to provide you with some solutions, but they're a real tough one to get rid of.
And sadly, Giovanni, as you probably just described, they are resistant now to many of the common chemicals in use. The only thing they're not resistant to, look, you just have a look at this picture. It might not mean much, but those are actually whitefly larvae that have been parasitized. So there are parasites around which can actually knock them off.
One of the little wasps or something like
yeah,
that.
little wasp, I think in that case, little wasp, yeah. But I said tongue-in-cheek at the start, you have my sympathies. We can't really give you a magic bullet for this one, I'm afraid.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
Good luck with it.
Yeah. No, that's all right. I appreciate it.
Okay, all right.
That's
Thank you very much.
Maybe one of our listeners, viewers, can give us a magic bullet, in which case we'd be delighted to pass it on.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Okay.
Calls, emails, what's next?
Go to some emails. We've just had an email come through, actually, from Michelle. She says, "Hi guys, I've got a sick frangipani. At this time of the year, I'm probably not surprised, but the leaves are growing out thin and pointy, and the top of the plant and the flowers look very sickly. She would like to save the plant if possible. Can you help me?" So there's the photo there.
Oh, okay, we've got her photo. So I'd put a photo of the sick one up there, but we'll have a look at her photo if we may.
Yep.
And then we can do a switch in between.
I'll just put it up here.
Okay, it'll come there in a moment.
Yep.
There it is. Well, no, that's not the one.
Not mine.
We've got another one. We'll just have a quiet chat with the crew. We've got another one there.
There it is.
On C.
That's
there we go.
Yep.
Okay, all right. So that's our sick one. And geez, it does look a bit sick.
Yes.
You know, one of the thoughts that occurs to me, did she say, is it in a pot or in the ground?
Sorry, I'll just go back up to the email. No, nothing. It doesn't say.
Nothing mentioned.
I'm looking at how close it is in relation to that brick wall.
Yeah.
I've got money on it potentially being in a pot, but I could be very wrong.
Well, so I think I would suspect a pot, and what I would suspect is waterlogging. That's fairly typical symptoms of waterlogging. And although the pot might have been free draining when you planted the frangipani up, and this is something we have to watch with many plants, as the roots grow, sometimes they coil round and block the holes. So you get the water accumulating in the pot. That, combined with the cool weather, which frangies don't like, well, neither do I, come to think of it.
Yeah, exactly.
Might just be accounting for that.
Yeah, I dare say the heat from the wall is probably what's keeping it with some flowers on it at this time of the year. I'm genuinely surprised that it's actually got that much.
Still got a few leaves, but they're thinking about retiring.
Yeah, yep.
Another feeling.
So certainly check that water in if it is in a pot and even in the ground. Just sort of certainly check it. There may be an overuse of organic matter or just holding that moisture in there. So certainly have a look at that.
Hope that helps.
Yes.
We once again have another caller waiting at the garden gate. So hello, welcome to the program.
Hello.
Well, maybe they're not.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
My name is Tom.
Yes, Tom.
And do you know soursop grows successful in Perth?
No, I missed the name of the plant.
Soursop.
Soursop. We did have a question about this recently, and our suggestion was that unless you're a really dedicated grower, probably not worth trying. Are they available is the next question, and I'm told that they are.
Yes.
I'm told that you can get them.
Yep.
Yeah.
I've got a tree growing.
Oh, well, you're ahead of us. Then in that case, the warmest possible spot.
Yep.
Right? That's really what it's all about. Our winters, which are getting, funnily enough, when it doesn't rain, that's when it gets cold. And our winters are, on average, getting just slightly colder, although we don't get enough chill factor. The whole weather's warming up.
No, that's right.
Warmest spot possible. Give it a go. Give us a call back in about 7 years' time and tell us how you go.
They do take a while, yeah.
And again,
Thank you, John.
And again, if you do need to get some fruit, they need to be
Yep,
assisted.
Steve likes to go around and do these things in the dark in the evenings.
hand pollinated, is it?
Yeah,
Yes, hand pollinated. So
Yep.
you can collect the pollen in the morning, stick it in the fridge or somewhere cool anyway, and then dust it back on in the evening. Or sometimes some of them collect in the evening, leave overnight, dust it back on in the morning.
A strange one, those.
Yeah, and the flowers.
Just
I wonder if I
like
can find a
apple.
picture of the flower, because you'd probably swear it hadn't got a flower. Let me see how we
Little
go.
pendulous things.
Yeah.
It's really impressive you're doing this live, John. It's super cool. It's super
I can't find a picture of the flower, I'm sorry. I can find a picture of Soursop if it makes you feel any better. That was it. Yeah.
Just to remind you what it may look like in 7 years' time. Yep. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah. Let's hope.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks very much,
John.
Tom. Thank you. Oh, and we have another caller. If you're going to call, I urge you to get in quick, because we haven't got much time left.
Yep.
So, good evening. Are you there?
Yeah, mate. How you doing?
Good.
Gary from Goslin's, mate.
Yes, Gary. How are you?
Pretty good. Look, I put the old chook manure through the veggie patch, and everything's booming like it's on steroids. Not a problem. But the big thing is the dreaded white butterfly. Without using a chemical, probably what's the best stuff that I can use other than have to go down and pick those little green buggers off all the time?
Yes. So you're referring to the cabbage white moth, or the white butterfly that we're all too familiar with. How's your squash game or your badminton game? Because that's a great way to.
Really?
That's a great way to get rid of the butterfly, or the moths, though it should be a bit more technical, the moths themselves. Otherwise, there's a nice little friendly reminder on the screen for you, the little green, the larvae, the caterpillars.
Not around at the moment, but coming up fairly soon. They're sort of, they tend to not do much during winter. But once the weather warms up a little bit, they're off with a vengeance.
Exclusion netting.
Exclusion netting is the way to go.
You can
unless you're there on guard all the time with your badminton racket.
Yeah. Because there's also
I've got them already now.
Yeah, there's also I'd believe that. Yeah, I think I've got a few crawling around looking at some of my veggies at the moment. But also with the exclusion netting, you've got to, if you put the netting over after the eggs have been laid, hence you've got to have a bit of diligence to watch those plants, because you're basically then creating the world's best caterpillar enclosure, because they can't get out, and the birds and the predators can't get in.
Yeah. This is what is called veggie blanket. This is a very fine material that you can lay over the top. And I actually took this photograph in my garden last year, and within 2 or 3 minutes of me laying this stuff over the top of the veggies, there were cabbage white butterflies flitting around on the top saying, all right, who's taking the cabbages away?
Yep, absolutely.
So exclusion is the way to go, and this stuff is very lightweight. As the plants grow, they're just lifted up. Not a bad way to go.
No, they're very good way. So give that one a go, Gary. But again,
just quickly,
yes.
with me tomatoes, when I grow them, last year I got a lot of worm in them. Is that just the fruit fly?
Potentially, yes. Without.
Well, no, hang on. Not the Mediterranean fruit fly. No.
There'd be a fruit fly.
We need to be quite clear about this. There is a fruit fly that attacks tomatoes, but that's the Queensland one, and we don't have it anymore. We did have a brief incursion, but we don't have it anymore. So what we're looking at is vegetable bug. Yeah, more than anything else. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Not fruit fly.
Not a problem. So that's not a fly. It's just a bug.
Yeah. Yeah, most likely. Most likely, without seeing.
If they're desperate to lay their eggs on marry nuts, then...
Yeah, I'd swear that I've had fruit fly in mine last year.
The most likely suspect is not fruit fly.
Okay, Gary. Well, hopefully that will help. We have as per usual the last minute rush.
Before we do, a catch up from last week. You might remember we were talking about pistachio nuts, and we had a caller from Rollystone. I still haven't received a bag of nuts. Who wants to know how to post-harvest treat them. And I must admit, since I've never been able to grow them, I've never got that far. So we're able to look it up. And I can tell you that you pick them, and within 24 hours, you have to remove the husks, which is a bit like hard work. Then you leave the shells, we're all familiar with. Then you dry the shells out in the sun in our climate. That's the best way to do it. And hopefully they will split, because most of the varieties of pistachio that we grow do split quite easily. If you then want the salt, you dunk them in a brine solution.
Brine, yep.
That's it.
Okay.
Simple.
Anything on the toxicity?
No.
Oh, okay.
I'm told, I've never tasted them, that raw pistachios are very nice.
Okay.
Yep. Yep.
There we go.
And they are a delicacy.
Yeah.
But most people have them dried and then brine treated as well. Yeah.
Okay, we have our last caller for this evening. Hello, are you there?
Well, unless it's a very quick call, then we can squeeze another one in. Hello.
Oh, hi, I'm glad I'm the last one. My name is Lorette.
Yes, Lynette.
Hello. Yes, I was just wondering, I've got a 6-year-old banana tree, and it's growing beautifully, but I've never had a crop of bananas.
Which raises the question, is it,
Yeah,
is it a fruiting banana? Yeah.
Pardon?
Look, it's very difficult to tell. Hang on, let me find. I was surprised, however, and I think I might have said this on the program, in Bustleton, to see one in Bustleton bearing fruit. So, yeah, find the right spot, warm spot. Has your banana tree, well, it's not really a tree, you know that, world's biggest herb, in fact, but has it got side shoots on it coming from the bottom?
Oh, yes. Over the years, it's thrown off 3 small banana trees.
Yes.
As well, and I put manure, lots of water in summer. It's in a sunny spot near a fence, and I give it, I feed it lots of manure, and I just I've never ever had a crop of bananas.
Okay, now you have to be a little bit ruthless. The life cycle of the banana is that one stem will come up and fruit, and then that's it. That stem will never fruit again. So when you're managing bananas, you have one stem that's going to fruit and only one replacement pup, no more than one. Right? And if you have too many replacement pups, not enough for the main one to go.
And just you adding manure as well is a little bit one-dimensional as far as the plant's nutrition. Certainly need the trace elements as well.
And
complete trace
elements.
elements.
Bananas love nitrogen and water.
Yes.
Look, give that a go. Thin them out a bit. You may even want to select one of the good young ones and take the big old one out altogether.
Every other banana.
Cut the big one out and just leave one of the young ones to come up. Yeah.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much.
Good luck with it.
Yes.
Thank you.
We should get paid in bananas for that.
Yeah, paid bananas and
better than peanuts.
and pistachios.
All right, how are we going? Well, I was going to say...
we have got time for one more call. I've just been told.
Yeah, okay, all right. We can squeeze one in. So there we go. Wasn't the last call.
From the second last call.
Hello. Hello.
Hello.
Yes.
Rang
Talk to
you
me.
last week regarding a pawpaw,
Yes.
male, female.
Yes.
I bought myself a bisexual one, which is supposed to be compatible to the male or female.
Yes.
Yep.
I think the first one I planted, I think is hermaphrodite.
Yeah, well, same thing.
It didn't go to the beard and didn't go to the mirror.
Oh, yes. Sorry, I didn't get into trouble for that, but now I might, because you've just reminded people. Yeah, look, that's the way to go. The trouble with the bisexual pawpaws is even though you buy them as bisexual, there's actually not 100% guarantee that they are, unfortunately.
No, that's right. Yes, it can be a little bit of a problem, but yeah, hopefully you will get some fruit.
Maybe instead of beer, I might go for Jack Daniels.
Come back to us on that one. All right, so that probably was the last call we can squeeze in, because we do want to mention that tomorrow Steve and I and Peter Coppin, as we've mentioned, are heading off to Muckenbuden. Not that I think there's anybody in Muckenbuden listening, because we're probably a bit outside that range. And if you don't know where it is, Google it. It's on the edge of the northeastern wheat belt, and great people. So we look forward to having a good time.
All I can say is I'll still be in bed when these guys are leaving.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's a bit of a drive.
It's a bit of a trip.
Though, however, I should also mention at this stage that this program has been made possible by our sponsors, and they are the City of Mandurah, the City of Swan, and the City of Stirling, and the Water Corporation. And we do thank them for their support throughout this series of Beyond Gardens Live, which lets me tell you there's just
The website.
One more program left to go.
Oh, yes, we've got one more program next week. So,
and the website.
So get your emails in, tv@beyondgardens.com.au, and please attach a photograph. As you can see, they come in handy, not only to show you, the viewer, but also to assist us. And we've also got our website. As you can see, it's up there. So, yeah, we've only really got, apart from Mucka tomorrow, we've got one more TV event for this season. And basically, just keep an eye on it because we are going to update that with the new season ahead.
Importantly, on the website, we have the forum where people can engage chat amongst yourselves, basically, is what we're saying, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty much.
Perth, WA-specific gardening community.
Mm. Yeah. And that's it. So it's all local, and we're all members. We can weigh in from time to time.
Occasionally.
And that web address, I'm not sure we gave it to you, it's probably self-evident, beyondgardens.com.au. It's been another interesting program. We'd like to thank you very much for taking part. My thanks to John McWilliams and Steve McCabe. And we're going to be back, and we're going to do pretty much the same thing next week, but that will be it for this series. Will there be another series? Well, we don't know, to be honest with you. But maybe if you ring up frequently enough and throw cash at us as we walk past, we might come back with another series a little bit later. There are a whole host of people who run the technical side of this, who make it all possible. We'd like to thank all of them as well. And most of all, we'd like to thank you for joining us from Beyond Gardens Live. Good night.